In Canadian British Columbia, there is a hang gliding launch of a ridge by the small town of Savannah. About 25 hang glider pilots are participating in this year's Canadian National Hang Gliding Competition. Today, 30th May, is the first task and it has two out and return legs. First going north and then west, with goal at the usual International Field LZ. It's quite overcast at 1 p.m, so I'm not rushing to launch. But the more experienced pilots launching early are climbing well and getting up to cloud base already, so I need to hurry up. It's my first time flying in Canada and also my first task in my first open class competition.
Clear.
We flew similar conditions the last 2 days as practice, so I'm feeling relaxed. Because I launched late, I only have 10 minutes before the task clock starts, since we have a single start gate. I hit a nice thermal right of launch, just like the last 2 days, but it's slow going at first, and I'm gaining only about 200 feet per minute. As I climb higher, I am catching up to the pilots who launched just before me. Watching them, I adjust my pattern to get a better climb rate. About 20 minutes later, I have gained almost 5,000 feet over launch. From this vantage point, Kamloops Lake looks beautiful. It stretches 30 kilometers east towards the city of Kamloops. I note the few houses that make up the small town of Savannah on the southwest shore. Cloud base is getting near, but the lift is weakening and the air is really chilly, so it's time to go on glide. Pulling in full VGN speed, I head north towards the first turn point. The small settlement right in front of launch is Skicheston Indian Band, a member of the Shuswap First Nations tribe. The first half of the leg I am not sinking much, and I enjoy views of the Dead Man Valley, named after the creek flowing through it. Coasting along the same ridge we launched from, I hit the first turn point and find some sink here. So instead of scratching, I head back to launch, which is also the second turn point. I hug the ridge, even though I see some pilots climbing out in the valley. And I'm back at launch, just about even with it. I am confident of getting back up here with all the practice I've had so far. It does take a few minutes of scratching, but finally a solid climb forms around me and takes me up to over 7,000 feet again. And I am pleasantly surprised to be reunited with other pilots, many of whom I recognize. It's John, Jeff, Sue, Derek, and others. Approaching 8,000 feet, I decide not to waste more time here and head west full speed to the third turn point 20 kilometers away. Crossing Dead Man Valley costs me about 2,000 feet, but I find a good climb right away. Derek has been flying with me from the beginning of the task, though we are not always in the same climbs. Seeing me leave, he has followed me across, and I am glad to have the company in the big lonely sky. I make slow but steady progress, enjoying views of the Thompson River, which drains into the Fraser River about 100 kilometers away. The Trans-Canada Highway parallels these rivers all the way to Vancouver, 350 kilometers to the southwest. This area is normally dry, being in the rain shadow of the coast mountains to the west. But this spring has been wetter than average later into the season, so the flying weather has been unpredictable. From 7,500 feet, I decide to tag the turn point and find the same thermal on the way back. Finally, I can head straight for goal 15 kilometers east, but it's still a 12 to 1 glide. Because of the overcast, I don't find any decent climbs. And about 5 kilometers from goal, I'm down to 3,000 feet, but still have a 10 to 1 glide. There's a small band of light rain falling directly in my path to goal, so I will have to go around it or allow for the extra sink if I go through it. There's a rocky hillside exposed to the sun, which provides just the bubbles of lift I need to reduce my required glide to 7 to 1. Finally, I can just go in with speed and not worry about the rain. It's fun flying low and fast, knowing that I will make goal, and have a safe and practiced landing field. I can see several gliders already at goal, and I could be the last one in. I'm glad I took the last climb to gain a few hundred feet, because I arrive at the LZ with just enough altitude to do a relaxed landing approach. While transitioning to the flare position, I get a slight turn towards the park gliders, but manage to save it. It feels great to have a good landing after an amazing flight into goal in a high-level competition. I look forward to the next task.